Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of my podcast, Heal with the Real. Heal with the Real started back in 2021 because of my journey from domestic abuse and how I went from survivor to thriver. And I wanted to do this podcast so that other survivors can know that there is light at the end of the tunnel and we can heal through our trauma. Um, and my amazing guest today is Wan Abdullah. And she has done some incredible things. And I'm going to go over to you, Wan, and just want to introduce yourself. Say a little bit about what you've done, and then we'll kind of look at maybe how you came to this country and how you're finding it as a refugee. So over to you. Yeah, if you want to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Amanda. Hi, everyone. My name is Wan. I have a quite long name, but I would like to make it short as a Wan. I'm originally from Malaysia, and I am mother of 8 children. I came to UK last 4.5 years ago, seeking for asylum with my ex-partner and with my 3-year-old son that time. So it's kind of like something that I have no idea what is asking for asylum, to be honest, because I just follow my ex-partner request that time that let's have a new life as a family together in a new place. So on the story on that, I not even realizing that I was struggling with mental health, and as well as due to unhealthy relationship. I came to UK with really a broken heart because last 5 years ago I have lost one of my son. He was 6 years old, so I was in the grief period for quite long, which I not even realize about that, and also been in the situations of mental health issue is not something that we want to talk about it back in my country, because it's something that you want to hide. You don't want anyone to know, because as a mother, you always, and especially as a mother who have many children like me, I have to have the image of that I'm strong mother, I'm capable to do anything, because of the pressure of the community and the culture itself, which is I realize is not something okay to be not okay. It's not normal to there. So even if you just walking across the psychiatrist ward or mental health mental health clinics, if someone saw you, they say, "Oh, we better watch out. This lady maybe have a crazy mind." So that will be automatically labeled by anyone there, and as well as to your friends, you can't really share, because I'm born as a Muslim, so yeah, I have a faith on this, but it's some kind of like is different definitions of being a Muslim back in my country. I say this because when I came to UK, it's kind of different perspective. I have a different view of being a Muslim. So I even reached to the level with the situation that I had in my country last time, that I feel like God is my enemy. I lost faith because all the people that I be surrounded make me believe that I deserve that. I deserve to have a trouble life. I deserve to lose my son because I'm not a good mother. I'm not a good daughter. I'm not a good Muslim. So all the judgment because of the continuity and the prolonged verbally abuse, psychological abuse back from early age of childhood, That what make me believe. So it's kind of like I've been living for almost like I was in the age of 41 when I came to UK. So you just imagine how long I've been living in the kind of believing that I'm not a good person. I'm not even a good human being. You know, every time when I woke up, I just feel like why I'm still alive? Why I have to go through all these things? I do a lot of things that I believe that I try to make other people happy, but in the end it's just never enough. It's always now I can use the terms like a goalpost. The standard of the requirement of these people put on me, it keeps changing, you know. Every time when I reach that level they will change it. No, I didn't say this and this whatever. So yeah, I was living there. It's in my own land, it's my own where my blood and sweat fall, but I never feel belong to the country, among the
When you
people.
when you say there's a difference between when you were in that country and then you came to the UK, because I'm guessing all those things, those terrible things, you know, losing a child, I just cannot imagine how that must feel for a mother. You know, our expectations, you know, we live, that, you know, our children live longer than us. And so I can't imagine what the trauma you must have been going through at losing a child, but also finding yourself surrounded by people that were blaming you for the things that had happened. So when you came to the UK from that country, what were those differences that you were able to recognize?
Obviously the people. I love the people that I've been surrounding since day one. I'm in UK. I don't want it to make it like a general statement about my country. My country is very beautiful, very nice, but this is my personal experience. I talking today on basis of my own experience. I did not mean any defective or any bad things about my country. This is my personal story. So when I not lucky, that's what I always think that when I was there, because I'm graduate, I'm the first child in my family history that went to university. So I put a lot of effort that I come to realize I'm dyslexic when I am in UK. You just imagine I was being in the normal school, but then my family just tell me that just a lazy person. I didn't put the effort to learn, like comparison to other people. You know, it's really hard work for a dyslexic people even to go through on a daily basis to go to school. You know, I only come to know when I came to UK. You just imagine. So when I first came to UK, even though it's not as per expectations that I wanted to be, because it's come to happen that things change immediately when we arrive at the Heathrow, and then I was in an abusive relationship for almost 5 years. That time, I do a lot of suffering. What can I say about like physical abuse, mentally, psychology? But it was there. It was really not something like my country able to help me. Even though they're very quite development and advanced country, if you want to compare to other Asian country, but when you're living there and you want to access to the services, it's not really applied, at least for me. I'm not entitled for many things. Like what I have received here in UK is totally different. I don't feel the double standard of getting the service in the UK, because in my country they always have like a certain requirement, which is only very low people that who can my it make me like my education level always become the biggest barrier for me to access the service in my country, because it seems like it's only for people who less educations, who less income, you know. So especially mental health, I was working with a very multinational company back in my country, but because I'm struggling with my mental health, so I have to ask, I've been asked to resign. It's really unfair. So I left as a single mom with 6 children when I met my ex-partner at that time. So it was like pretty much now I can say I can recognize how the abuse started. But the service that I received in UK who helped me to recognize it, which is really mind blowing for me, because I remember when I was accessing the first course with Women Have Matters called Breastfree Project to help people from the domestic abuse. It was like if I'm not mistaken 24 weeks courses, and then I just cry, recognizing. But that's the things that they're giving me the opportunity to access the service without looking on my background. That's what I feel, because it's different there in my country. You need to have like low requirement, but here they treat me as fair. That's what I think. Everybody have access. Even I'm the only person I remember who came from asylum background. Others are mostly local, but I'm glad that I've been accept to find my own healing journey through that.
Amazing. Tell me a little bit more about how did you escape that 5-year abusive relationship? What was the lead up to thinking, right, no more? And was that the lead up to moving to the UK, or how did that happen?
To tell you, Amanda, I never managed. I'll never success to escape back in my country. I'm bleeding, been punching, bleed on my face. I went to police station, but the police just asked me to go back, because in my country they have like 2 different court, and marriage always been deal in the Sharia court, and this kind of domestic abuse back in my country, it been specifically on that law. So it been 5 years. I ran, I fled, but I always reconcile, go back, because there's no way for me to escape. He managed to make that he's a foreigner in my country, but he had the power of money. My country, money is always speak louder. So it's corruption there easily happens. So even I'm local people, but I'm not been hurt, and I didn't get my justice even. I have a son with him. I came together to UK, but then I've been separated. He's been taken away from me since he's born. So it's pretty much a prolonged abuse relationship. But I didn't realize it. I didn't recognize it because my family really cast me out from the family, because they say I deserve that because I'm not being a good daughter. So it's something like keep me going back to the darkness. That's what I always call. So been trying to get any help from friends, but then they will get frustrated with me when they say I'm weak because I keep going back. I'm so in love with this foreigner. There's one time when I went to the Sharia court, that they say, why you married to a foreigner in the first place? That's not a word that a person who need help like me expected to hear. So it's always like a high and low situation. You always in the flight mode. I wasn't recognize this flight mode or whatever last time, but now I can say this because I'm learned and I've been exposed to the terms, and it's recognizing the symptom and the way also have helped me a lot to overcome the situation of abuse. But that's how I come to know, because of the exposed or what can I say, when I came to the UK, my English is very poor, so I try to have like going to the group that I can listen to people talk more in English, because my vocabulary is very limited. So when I found that as a dyslexic people listen to people talking and try to converse back is much easier, faster than me, rather than go and learn in the college or whatever like that. But then how I come to know about domestic abuse, which is I only know that beating or slapping, punching is not human things. It's not a good way. It's not moral. That's all I know. But it's here. They taught me that they say to us that is abuse. The term is abuse. It's called physical abuse, because you know I've been grow up in the family background that beating is okay. So that's why I think my childhood trauma have pile up in my mind. That's what allowed me to allow my partner to do that to me, because it's okay. It's okay to get beaten because I'm not good or whatsoever, or I'm not up to whatever they expect me to do. So I deserve that. Even like I said, I even think that God punished me because I deserve that. But anyhow, when I learn about the types of abuse, including physical abuse, psychological abuse, emotional abuse, um, financial abuse, control and coercive behavior, gaslighting, isolations, all these things, it's just something like, oh, wow. Is it really happened to me? Is this what I've been since I know what world mean to me? Because I've been in the childhood abuse. That's what I can say as well. So abuse is so normal, Amanda, in my culture, in my family at least. So I can't even comprehend. I can't even compare whether this is normal and this is not normal. So it's really hard. But that's why I really work hard actually on my healing journey, on my healing process, because in the first step is to recognize it. It is difficult. It's so difficult.
Yeah.
It's overwhelmed.
Something really important that you spoke about was your friends saying, oh, you've gone back again, you've gone back again, and not understanding, because this is something that comes up a lot for survivors of domestic abuse. They then stop telling their friends because their friends go, oh, you've gone back to him again, or you're weak, or you're this, or you're that. And I think we need to change that narrative, don't we? That
Yes.
friends shouldn't say that. Unless you are in that situation of domestic abuse, understanding that cycle of abuse that we keep repeating that same pattern is hard from somebody looking from the outside in. But as a survivor, it's that trauma bond of us keeping on going back because we don't understand that psychological, that emotional, all those different abuses that you mentioned. We don't understand that. So we're just going back in that cycle constantly. And I think you've got to learn, you've got to know about all the different types of abuse and go on that learning journey yourself. Like you say, at 41, you find yourself actually, right, this is my healing journey. I'm starting to find myself. I'm starting to understand why my behaviors have been the way I am. And a lot of the time, like you say, it is family abuse. It can start from the family home very early on. It can start from the tiniest of traumas. But whereas for you, it was, I guess, quite a big trauma growing up in a family that abuse was okay. But I'm so pleased that you started that journey and you now recognize that actually it isn't okay and it is stemming from my family, and I think that's the way that we can break that cycle going forward.
Yeah, you say right, Amanda. And interestingly about the trauma bonding, it's always when for someone who have no knowledge about trauma bonding, it's always like feel like you fall in love. It's really like feel like this is the connections, soul connections. Is my soulmate. He make me feel butterfly in my stomach. It feels so good. And then when he's gone, I miss him so badly. I even once not once, many times I crawling on the floor because I longing to be with him, but because of understanding or recognizing that this is a trauma bonding, I managed to overcome it because I know this is a trauma. But after for long years, I live in the believing that this is love. And I don't blame any woman who been or still in the abuse relationship or toxic relationship now, because it's so right. You feel the bonding it's just like so much strong, which your parent, even you don't have a blood tie, but you so bonding together. But this is what the hormones, cortisol level, stressful level have made you. The good part that I even reached to the level of understanding with my own understanding that this is a scientifically proved that how a trauma bonding can cause as much as same like people are addicted to heroin, to drug, to alcohol. So you can just imagine, for I don't drink alcohol, I don't do drug, all these things, but I can now relate because I've seen people who got drug addicted. I've seen people who got addicted with the alcohol. I know how bad they can be. And that's why I say when I was crawling on the floor, screaming without a voice, because it's so painful, it's so painful. And I just feel like he's the only antidote, remedy that I need, the medicine for me, But I also have another voices of fighting in my mind that time. Remember what he did after this honeymoon period, after the reconciliation. How long? I always like having a conversation with myself that, let's see, I even have some indicator. I make it my own standard of a level that how long, 2 days, 3 days, 2 weeks, how long he will remain okay. And it's always not I'm making assumptions, but it's just like a pattern that I come to see. The statistic is always hits maximum. He can be nice to me is like 2 months. That is max, and after that we start again. And then the things that I have to been through over and over again is much more painful.
Yeah.
I took the biggest step, the most brave things that I feel proud of myself today is to have a courage to say no more. Yeah. I have enough because I could not take it anymore. I have lost my age. I have lost my energy. I have lost my children. I can be very emotional now, but I have lost everything for this man, the man that I consider love of my life. And I've never been in love so much before. He the best man ever. And the things that the only truth that I told myself today is my feeling towards him. Not from his side. So I keep reminding myself, even my caseworker from behind the closed door, and a woman have matters, they always like one write it down, and or sometimes they just print out a sticker, put everywhere that I can see. I'm strong and enough, all these affirmative words to help me to remember. And the most thing that I always feel, the pain. I could not take it, the pain anymore. It's not worth. I one thing that who really changed me is when I got pregnant to my son, my last son. No, I hope it's last. that through him, I channel out all the love, all the pain, all the energy, whatever I had through him. And when I have him, I managed to put a distraction in order for me to replace the bad memory and the pain. You know what I did? Every time I look into him, I uses the 5 sense of the senses that I have. I use my eyes to look into his face. I smell him. I kiss him. I touch him. I hug him. It's really, really a good therapy for me. For a person who be diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder like me, sometimes we feel like it's hard to do, but we don't know that the things that can help us is only between our eyes, just in front of us. So my son have become the biggest therapy for me. Every time he smile, I hear he giggling. Oh my God, he's just replacing everything, you know. I say, I love you so much. And he don't, you know, sometimes the look that I'm looking for the true love, unconditional love that I ask God to give to me is through him. I might be not having the best man for myself, but I have the opportunity to create or to nurture a best man in the future. You know, that's what I'm determined to do, because I know how it feels, the pain for a woman who broken, so seems small like me, who hungry for love. Is the only things that I can get it is from my own blood. I carry him for 9 months. I put the effort, the pain, all the labor pain, all the struggle, but it's worth. It's never regret. But it's not easy. I can't do it by myself. I realized one thing is too obvious to not to mention this today. I receive a lot of support here in UK, and I think UK is the best country who have mental health, perinatal mental health services who can really help people. That's what make me determined also now, Amanda, to help others. I'm giving back whatever I have received from all the services that I received last 4.5 years ago. Whoever I am today is because of the support that I don't do it by myself, because I tried in my country. I do it by myself. I'm not success. I'm failed. But here, with the determinations, with the willingness, sometimes you don't have to have a big action that you want. Just have a small voice. I want to out from this, you know. But if you meet with the right services, and one thing, you allow yourself to receive the help, because these people would not know that you need help.
Yeah.
I believe that if you suffering behind the door, behind the closed door, in the darkness or whatsoever, please find something or organization that you feel you comfortable enough. And I think most of the services that I engage with, very descriptive and very private, you know, they very care about your safeguarding all this thing. And you are safe here. Even worst case scenario, the police here also very helpful.
Okay.
not
Can
like
Can I ask one? You mentioned when you were 41 and you started your healing journey. What were some of the things? Because you say your son is somebody that gives you that love. What about self-love? How do you practice self-love?
You know, it's really the most difficult thing, Amanda. I have to say that, and I think many people agree with me. You can give, you can do love, care for people very well, but in order to love yourself, that the most thing that you don't know how to do even. So it's kind of like I start start to forgive myself, because that was the first lesson that I got it from my perinatal mental health team. My care coordinator always said that it's okay, Wan. What will you need in order for you to move on? I say I done so many bad things. Okay, it's a past. So what you should do now? And then I say, I think I have to start with forgiving myself. Whatever bad thing I thought that I have in my mind, whether I'm lousy, I'm lazy, or I'm bad, I'm ugly, or whatsoever, I accept it. I accept and I forgive myself for being silly, for not being understandable, for allowing all these things. First thing is forgive yourself. Once you have forgive yourself, then you can start on the next step. Because it's hard. It's hard because when you keep questioning, because the biggest voice in your mind is will keep triggering you, or we keep suggesting, sabotaging you. And then if you say, well, I forgive already, so let it go. I have the conversation all the time with myself. And I don't even care whether people think I'm crazy, but who is your best friend? Me. I make myself as my BFF, my very best friend. So when I make it like I don't know what the English word, like you change the words, the sentence, you become I am enough. If I'm telling to my friend, what would the best word that I want to tell to my friend? I would say, you are enough. So I change it to I am enough. So I'm looking myself in the mirror and I say, I am enough. Or even if I can't even change it, I look, you are enough. Just I look to myself in the mirror. And it's not really a one-day work. I have LDVS case worker also. Last time she always say, okay, Wan, if you think that you cannot do it for 3 days, let's break it more small. Do it for 1 hour. Or if you still cannot do the 1 hour, let's do for 10 minutes. Because I cannot stop thinking about him, when I was in the no contact period. And then she was telling me, okay, what if 10 minutes also you cannot do, can you do just 5 minutes? And she make it more easier when it's come to 1 minute. I even up to the level I was telling, okay, this lady called Karen, okay, Karen, I managed to not thinking about him for 2 seconds. That's good one.
It's so hard. I think when you have suddenly split from this person that you've got this trauma bond with, the contact part is one of the hardest things to do, I think, but so important. Blocking all the social media channels, all your phones, any contact with that person, and then not being able to go back and have a sneaky look just to see, because then you're just traumatizing yourself again. And it's so hard, isn't it, that part? But the no contact is such good advice. And I love the fact that you do the positive affirmations in the mirror. That's something that I do and I still do. And I think, like you said, the healing is ongoing. It's never stops.
Yes.
It is ongoing throughout our lives. We just need to know, should I say, what those triggers are, and when they come up, what tools can we use? What can we get out of our tool belt to go, actually, I'm not feeling this today. Okay, just take 5 minutes, and I love the fact that they break down those steps into tiny steps, because they're achievable then, aren't they? And you don't feel like you're a failure. And even if you're just taking that tiny step every single day, that tiny step's going to get bigger, and you're going to progress, and you're going to have this huge tool belt with all these things that you can go, right, I'm going to use that today to make me feel better, or I'm going to use this today. What are some of those tools in your tool belt, as well as positive affirmations?
Well, I'm also learn about boundaries, which is I'm still learning anyhow, but it's something that it's really boost up my self-confidence, to be honest, when you start to have boundaries, because it's not only make you realize that you don't need an additional stress from people, because everybody have their own rubbish or luggage, what they want to dump somewhere, pardon my language, but I have enough of myself. So that's how I start to create some boundaries in my mind. My care coordinator used to teach me how to create a safety room in my mind. So it was really hard from the beginning, but then after that, I start to get used to it, because sometimes you have to keep continuing doing to make it a habit. And then now it's become much easier. So every time when I feel overwhelmed, I feel low, or I feel like I've been bullied, I'm not being hurt. So I just pause and I take a deep breath, and then I just be in that room. So it's my space. Even though I can be everywhere. I also learn a technique like breathing technique using the 5 fingers. So I do like this: breathe, release, breathe, release. So even I was in the bus stop or anything, because I do have anxiety and panic attack as well. So it's really breathing techniques, but because I need to feel something, so that's why I like to use my fingers to
I
do it.
like
So it's distract my mind. So when I'm doing
yeah.
this, yeah. So people just didn't bother you anyhow, but that's how I feel relaxed. Because it do, like, sometimes when you struggle with anxiety, you do feel like, oh, what people, if people see, oh, like this, you just concern too much about what people say. You being your biggest judge. But actually, when you in your space, safety space, you don't really care about that anymore. Even my son now, he's 3 years old, so he's very, very active, and I enjoy it very much. But sometimes I even manage when to remain calm, whatever situation that he put me through. But I just like, okay, I'm enjoying, embrace it, because one thing that I learned from the loss of my son, I think everybody who haven't been through losses, they will start to embrace the life, the living. So for me, it's opportunity, because now I also disconnected from my other children. So I learn to let go of something that beyond my control. There is a time that my doctor was telling me that do like this and reach out. So this is my reach out, the circle. So my
Okay.
son is always near me. So he's the one I can reach now. So I need to focus on that. So anything beyond my hand range. So that is what I need to focus. It's not easy, but as I say, because I've been in the service for quite some times, and I'm very lucky. I met with amazing, brilliant people who keep supporting me. So that's why I managed to do all this thing now. On top of still the other challenges, like for example, from the police side, from the government. Sometimes you want to make some change, but you need to make your voice heard. That's what I've been doing now. I refuse to be victim of my situations, because I'm still asylum seeker. My status limit me a lot of things, but I'm a survivor now. That's what I'm busy striving to be the best version of myself. And what make me happy is make other people happy. When I can see people smile, because most of volunteer things that I do, I'm not even get payment. So what I need to see, because when I see those happy face, it's just like a multivitamin for me. And to know that there's many women who struggle, and my life experience have made me expert how to talk with those people who really have issues same like me last from few years ago. Because it's not easy when you're in a foreign country. You tend to look to people who like same look like you, same cultural background. Then only you can be so open. So that's why I take the opportunity to get closer to them. But I do it in my way. Like Frank Sinatra say, I do it my way. I'm very limited still with the vocabulary from my English, but I'm using always the simple English. So when I share, like I showing the fingers, for me, anything is just like nurturing a child. I'm a mother. I'm a best mother. So what I'm doing best is nurturing. So I think patience, lot of patience and determinations, resilience that I had. I used to call myself as a phoenix, because I've been died many times and turned to ashes, but phoenix is always rise back from the ashes as well. So that's always be Phoenix always rise up with the best version of them, the
I
bigger
love that.
wing, yeah, the bigger
Yes,
flame.
I love that. I love all the things that you're putting into place now. Boundaries are super important, aren't they? With everybody, to put in boundaries and being able to learn to say the no word, because we are people pleasers. We're typically people pleasers, like you say. Doing things for other people makes us happy, but we can't do those things for other people till we filled our own cup first. And I think that's the most important thing. You started telling me about the things that you're doing here in Leeds. Tell me about some of the things that because you've achieved some amazing things already, haven't you? Tell me about some of those things.
Well, thanks to all the support that I receive, it's about time, I think, for me to glow and shine. I consider myself as a star now, who try to give my light, my shining light to everyone that within my circle, with like what I can reach out, because. I know that the words like what you was mentioned, people pleaser is not something a good behavior, but I start to recognize myself, because the always question that I ask myself, what make me happy? So I feel happy when I see people happy.
Yeah.
That is my terms. So
Yeah.
what make people happy is, even you put your ear to listen to their story. Even just pick up the phone, hi, say hi. Even just say smiley face. It's not a big deal even to do to make people happy. But sometimes we don't know, people have the bad day, but when they see you smiling, I always, my ex used to call me as a charity face, because I don't know, people always attracted to me. Even but I consider it now as an advantage. If I got the charity face, the influence face that people like to be with me, why don't I use it? Because I don't harm people. I didn't mean harm to anyone. I just want to be socialized, be comfort to others. That's why how I found a few activities that really become my passion now. One of it, like last June, I had created a group of asylum and refugees who I realized that they have many skill and talents, which match with the current situations of the government now is trying to paint the image of asylum and refugees or immigrant in this country on the bad image, or taking tax money or whatsoever. I don't want to go further on this thing, but obviously everywhere I go, when I join the group, I keep seeing skillful people who even have a very good profession back in their country: doctors, lawyers, nurses, midwife. They are all skillful, and some more, they have a nice voice. They can sing, they can dance, they can write a poem. And then I say, why don't I have a group that I can help these people to keep them busy? Because when you're stuck in the asylum system for a long time of period, living in the limbo, uncertainty, which is honestly, I can tell you, like, you don't know when you're going to be deported with the limited of money. I always say, like, the checklist of the abusive is really matched to whatever happened to us now. So I just want them to feel value, because I think everybody loves to feel value, and some more to showcase. I don't know whether it's appropriate words or not. To let other people in the UK to see that these people are skillful and talented, not just coming here to take your tax money as the proclaim, but we are very skillful and we want to contribute to the community. We want to contribute to the economy. Who want to live with a 40 pound per week, okay? It's a per week, 40 pound per week, and stuck in the house, which cannot do anything. You just imagine if you come to the UK with a mental health, but if you're living in this kind of situation, you will fall deeply into mental health situations. So I feel like helping these people, especially when they sing, you have to project your voice. It's just kind of therapy, you know. Even I do have like a practice training every Monday with all this talent. I managed to get some funding for the bus fare, because you know most of us cannot afford the travel expenses. So when they came, some of them can play guitar, can play drum, some of them can really write a good poetry, make everybody cry, you know, because I realized also people in UK, they love to listen to the story, but what platform they can do. And I think like you, like me, we've been workaholic so much. So why entertainment business? It because I wanted everybody win-win situation, local or refugees or immigrant. We meet at one point, entertainment. Everybody looking for a break, for a pause. So that's why I have this. Last time it been known like Leeds Asylum and Refugee Got Talent, but now I change it because my talent widespreadly. So I changed to Britain Century Got Talents.
Okay. Tell me a little bit as well. You've won awards. You've won an award for your football team.
Oh yes, that's another
Tell us a
epic.
little bit about that. We've got about 5 minutes left of the podcast, so if you want to
Oh,
tell us a little bit about that, that'd be
we
amazing.
can do for the whole day this, Amanda. But last March, actually, I've been playing a football. Last time when I know about this, last 2 years ago, when my son like 5 months old, that time I was looking for some kind of activity who suit me, because as asylum seeker, I financially struggling with bus and childcare. I'm not entitled. So when I saw the leaflet from Holbeck Moor Football Club that time, they're just about to start. They said they offer crash, childcare, and they giving the bus fare, and they give the free gear, sport bra, football shoes, and relate to that, because you know my doctor was saying was told me that for people who've been struggle with trauma, it's really good to try something that they never tried before. It's just like to replace the bad memories with the new memories. So when I saw the leaflet about football, Amanda, I never kicked a ball my whole life. You know, I was 42 years old. I 42 or 43. I forgot now my age. So I was like, let's have a try. But because I'm so anxious, I never been there. So I managed to persuade another mothers who've been pregnant with me and have baby as well to go with me. So when we went there, the first thing that all of us look at the ball, we just look to each other. And then the coach was telling, try to kick the ball. And then I said, okay. And then I tried to kick the ball. It looks like so easy to kick a ball when you keep seeing people kicking, you know. But I just sliding down on the grass and everybody was laughing. And then I just stand up and I say, okay, now you try to kick the ball. And they kick the ball as well, and they're sliding. And the first session went with full of laugh. Last 2 years ago, it started with a laugh. And last March, we got recognition from City of Century UK to be the very first women football club who received Football of Century. The
Yeah.
2 years hard work, the unprofessional who never kick a ball is worth. And it's really 1 hour session that we had to have a break to laugh, you know, even with the language barrier, we still can kick the ball, left, showing this, no need the language. It was
Yeah.
really legendary. We have marked our history actually on this point.
Well done. Well done. Congratulations. Thank you, Wan, so much for coming on this podcast. What 3 things, before we go, what 3 things would you change for survivors of asylum seekers so that they can get better support? What 3 things would you say would come to your mind?
Okay, because I'm also an ambassador for the Voices Network UK, I really relate to this voice, because I think for a victim, in order to be a survivor, you need to learn how to voice it up. You might be not finding through your own voice, but like looking around for people like me who willing to bring forward your voice it's become my passion now, because I think I want to be the louder voice to all the women and girls who've been suffering in the violence, abuse, from any situations, not only from romantic relationship, from the family relationship. I want them to look at me and recognize me. I'm the strength. I'm the result of finding the courage to voice out. And if you cannot do it, reach out. Reach out for the services that are available in your local area. Reach out to anyone that you feel comfortable with, because in Leeds itself, we have so many organizations and charity who really kind and serious, want to help people like us. But if we did not find a way, if we did not try to let the small tiny little voice out from ourselves, these people would not know. And let's together we voice out to fight against violence and abuse in this difficult time, actually. But to make a change, we have to unite to become the big voice so we'll be heard.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. Just before we go, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Fix Your Future. Fix Your Future was my memoir of my journey from survival, from domestic abuse, and how I went on to thrive. And in the back of there are a lot of the self-help techniques that I personally use and still use to this day. So yeah, just a little bit about that. I just want to thank you so much for all the work that you're doing, the incredible work. And yeah, you're so right. We need to just be one voice. And the louder that we can get with that one voice, the more support we'll see and the more changes we can keep making. Wan, thank you so, so much for being a guest on Heal with the Real. You've been amazing. What's next for you now? What's
Thank you.
next? What's the next thing?
Next thing for me is, if I'm allowed to say this, Amanda, I'm organizing We Dare to Dream films on 16th of December in Hyder Park Cinema. It's very inspiring. It's how refugees Olympic team went to the Olympic, and I think it's really inspiring to all of people in all around UK. It's from the producer Wan Abdullah. I wanted to let's come together and meet up there, and we can discover a lot of more from working together. Refugee and UK people, they are all in my heart. They are all what people always say: if you can't be anything that you want to be, just try to be kind.
Yeah, I love that. I love that closing sentiment. So 16th of December at
Yes,
Hyde Park Picture
Hyder
House.
Park Cinema.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing. The last thing, just before we go, I'm doing an empowerment through entrepreneurship program, and there's a free workshop on the 4th of December. So if you follow the link to my website, you can find that on my socials. And if that's something that you're wanting to do, set up a business and you've been through domestic abuse, and that course is for you. So do come and find us. But thank you so much, Wan.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you for everybody watching.